A steady diet of ultra processed foods for children has been found to shrink parts of their brains that are responsible for emotions, decision making, rational thought processes, and smooth out their brains. All kids have seen models of brains, right? They see all these folds in the brains, these gyri. Ultra processed foods make kids' brains lose some of that gyrification. That's frightening. And a steady diet of ultra processed foods when kids are 4 is significantly correlated with behavioral problems and neurodevelopmental concerns by the time they're 7.
So yes, this is very, very true. It's great to see more and more of this information coming out in social media and everywhere, really. One of the things that we need to remember is, there's a lot of what are called excitotoxins put into food by food processors, many of which are there to greatly enhance flavors, key flavors. The brain, the apostat region of the brain that triggers satiety, picks up on key flavors, and so they know that research and they use it. And this is one of the reasons that salty foods are good, because the body has a tendency to crave salt, and they use all sorts of other tricks. But one of the things that we need to be aware of is that they use things like monosodium glutamate and many other such things. And this book here, called Excitotoxins, The Taste That Kills by Russell Blaylock, MD, goes through a lot of the research on excitotoxins, tells you exactly what they are, and shows you how they cause brain cancer and many of the things she was talking about and much more. And they sneak these things into foods all over the place. But you have to remember, unless you're sure that you're getting foods from a certified organic source, you're eating not only these excitotoxins, concentrated sugar, but you're also getting a pretty significant dose of pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, rodenticides, and glyphosate. If you look up the side effects of these chemicals that they're using, as I share in my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, I give you very clear examples and even what research studies showed, that they have a tremendous effect of disrupting growth and development in children, in people. They cause cancers. There's a long, long list of very nasty side effects of them. But one of the things they don't tell you is that these chemicals are generally researched one at a time. But when you start mixing them together, you get all sorts of combinations that are completely new cocktails. And I found research showing that when you put them in the oven, that they actually transform into new chemicals that scientists have never seen, is what the research scientists said. So we don't really have good information looking into what happens when you combine these chemicals, and you can have 20, 30 of them in one thing that you buy from the store in a package or in many of these foods. So we have to be very conscious. If we want to be healthy, we must remember that health begins with healthy soil, which is why organic farming and biodynamic farming is so critical of a concept. And we have to be very, very aware of what we're spending our dollars on, because whenever we spend money on processed garbage food, we're funding the destruction of the environment, we're funding the destruction of our health, our children, and our general well-being. And sick people don't have the energy to make positive changes in the world. So it really goes back again to the things that I share in my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. I show you the wheel of life. I show you how the soil is critical and how the health of the soil determines the health of the plants and the animals that eat it, which we eat all of. So these are very, very important considerations. And if you have children, many of these things severely disrupt or retard growth and development, and can lead you to, and your child, to a life of expenses from the medical system, a lot of drugs, possibly surgeries. The rate of cancer amongst children today is higher than it's ever been. And when you do the kind of research I'm talking about, it's easy to see why. So love yourself, love your children, and love the planet. Put your money in the hands of organic farmers, and go to farmers markets and ask them specifically, do you farm organically? And look in their eyes and pay attention to the quality, the look, the smell, and even the vibration of the food, because you can't trust organic certifications anymore for many, many reasons, but it's called corporate hijacking of a good idea. So hope that information helps you. anyone that's interested, get this book, Excitotoxins, The Taste That Kills, by Russell L. Blaylock, MD. It's absolutely mind-blowing what he shares in here. And when you realize how much of this stuff you're eating, it might shock you right into finding an organic farm.